Hey, what's up everyone? It has been about 2 weeks since that first video went out where I explained that I'm basically starting from zero, opening my own registered investment advisory business. I mentioned in the video that I spent 12 years combined at Vanguard and Schwab, kind of always aligned with financial planning and retail financial advice. So one of the biggest reasons for breaking away was just to give myself the flexibility and freedom and give my family the ability in the future to potentially have one of us stop working, mostly my wife once the kids go to elementary school. And, we both have or had comfortable jobs, and it was looking like, we would basically be working for 30 more years for somebody else, and we could retire confidently, we could retire with plenty of money, our kids would have a good life, but it was more about the time and the way that I was spending my time that really made me feel like now was the right time to break away. That video, that first video, thank you for anyone that did watch that. It was basically right before I got anything registered. I wasn't able to take on any clients, and I'm very happy to say 2.5 weeks on from that, Woolstone Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor in the state of Pennsylvania. I am able to take on clients, and I even have currently 5 clients signed on. So it's been an amazing process, and actually the thing that has surprised me the most is how much I've been enjoying just learning the ins and outs of owning the business itself. I always knew and had confidence that the actual financial planning part, the actual working with clients part, that was going to be comfortable for me. That's what I really love to do. That's what I've done for over a decade now. And I didn't have any issue having confidence in myself and kind of that unwavering focus that this is going to be what my practice is focused on. And there's enough people out there with enough assets to make this a viable business. What I didn't really know or understand completely at the time was just what else is included in running your own RIA. So it's the ownership part that is new to me and not necessarily the running, the day-to-day, the meetings with clients, the financial plans, all of that is good. The new part is, do I have my book set up correctly? Am I filing everything in the right expense report? Am I doing my compliance? Is what I'm spending my money on and my time on enough to validate what I'm actually doing? Because at the end of the day, 5 clients, that's amazing. I used to handle practices that had 175 or 200 clients. So there's a lot of time on my hands, and I'm finding that it's like there's so many things that I could focus on that aren't necessarily an immediate priority. That makes it's not difficult. I do want to say, like, the freedom of owning my own business, the freedom of and the scariness of it all being on me, that to me is exciting and motivating. So that part, it's been a good time. It's been a happy time over the last 2.5 weeks. The hardest part has been trying to define where that pocket of like the 30 minutes to an hour goes to make sure that it's the most effective use of my time. For anyone that's watching this that wants to understand kind of the process of what it took to get the RIA registered, apparently Pennsylvania as a state is pretty good generally because they have enough people employed in the examiner's office. They actually have a CPA that is focused on the financials. Pennsylvania, if you didn't know, has basically a $10,000 minimum that you need to keep in your bank account, just in case for contingency or anything like that. So the actual process to get registered from start to finish probably took me 3 months. But I would say the instance from kind of like when I started to meet with the examiner until when the business was registered, that was actually closer to 1 month. So I did have help from XY Planning Network. Their compliance team was amazing. Shout out to you guys. I would definitely recommend, if you are starting fresh and haven't done this before, I would use XY Planning Network or some other group that helps you with a lot of that compliance at the start. I had been working with an employment attorney that kind of offered a package that was closer to $10,000. The XY Planning Network with the compliance component costs less than half that. So in my mind, I'm trying to bootstrap this. I'm trying to be as cheap as possible, basically. And that was a good middle ground for me where I felt like I had the support and the help that I needed. but also I wasn't spending a huge amount of money that I'd rather have as in kind of my back pocket in case I ran into a point where I wasn't generating profit and I wasn't building a client base as quickly as I wanted to. So I started from zero, and I also have no ability to take former client information with me. I was really focused on basically doing marketing through YouTube and Reddit to try and find new clients, and then just hoping and praying basically that clients that I had worked with in the past would try and find me and reach out to me. I've been so happy, so incredibly happy with not just the outreach from families that I've been able to work with in the past before, but I actually have a few people that are interested in one-time financial planning that found me completely cold. That to me, after 2 weeks having a handful of people find me like that, that gives me the confidence that I'm spending the time in the right way, at least in terms of the marketing and what I'm doing. If you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer it in the comments, because for me at least, and I found this with a lot of people that I talk with that have kind of been in my situation, the most unknown part is basically where's your client base going to come from. I have a niche that I serve, but I need to find those people and I need those people to find me. I feel like I've been able to do that pretty quickly and the turnaround has been really nice. The other part of this that's great is that the families that I've worked with in the past, they're all kind of enrolling as ongoing management. That takes a while for the fees to start to provide revenue to the business, right? It's quarterly, it's in arrears. I'm basically waiting until July until that first fee run is able to feed the business revenue. If I can get a few people in those 3 months between this quarter and the next that are paying me a one-time financial planning fee as an engagement over the next few weeks and months, that's an amazing part of cash flow that I can use to basically put back into the business, think about marketing more, or just give my family a little bit of stability in what is now a very unstable time. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys if you're in the same spot as me or you're thinking about breaking away. What are kind of those biggest questions that you have? And I'm happy to talk about them maybe in a future video or answer them in the comments here. But yeah, I would just say from starting from scratch, expect to at least spend 2 or 3 months, especially if you have a partner that's helping you move things along a little bit more quickly. Expect to have some type of cash in the bank to make sure that not only do you have for contingency and business purposes, but also to make sure that any budget shortfalls in your own life are taken care of. I basically gave myself and my family about 18 months where if I was generating zero profit and zero revenue at all, we could make it 18 months and I could get to that point. Again, I have been so happy and so fortunate with the people that have reached out to me and want to work with me. I'm less than a month in after being registered, and I've essentially hit my year one target for ongoing management for assets under management with me. That alone, I hate to say, it continues to give me confidence, but it fills me with one, pride that I have built these relationships with these people, that they've trusted me not only with their wealth and their assets, but also the fact that it takes some level of effort to move their assets from one place to another. So the fact that they had that trust and we had that relationship that was strong enough to basically break ties from another custodian or another business, that I just can't speak on enough for the validating feeling that is, and what I tried to imagine my business would be as an RIA. The other piece is that I feel like having two completely cold prospects come through basically the sales funnel and want to work with me in a financial planning engagement, that too just make sure that I am diversifying the way that I'm building revenue and generating profits for the business. I am probably not back to break even yet, especially if we're considering $10,000 as a cost to open the business, even though it's still technically mine or it's still technically the firm's in the bank, but I can't use it. Yeah, the other amazing part of this has just been the freedom and flexibility that it's given me. I feel like I've spent so much more time with my kids, and it hasn't, it's not necessarily been so much more time in the minutes that I'm spending, but the focus that I have with them and the amount that I'm able to give in terms of my energy is so much higher. I'm not checking my teams. I'm not worrying that my boss is going to call me or that a financial consultant is going to email me or text me. I'm not worried about any of that. Everything is on me now. And while for some people that may seem scary and it might give you anxiety, I'm really enjoying the process of what that means for me and my business. So again, I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about, what questions you have. I'm kind of just using this as a journal that I can speak to myself, but also people that are maybe in a similar position and are wondering what this looks like. So I'd love to hear from you kind of what your thoughts are and what you're worried about. And we can talk it through in the comments or the next video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.